Okay, hi everyone, welcome back. In this update, we are going to check out Near Protocol's price chart because number one, unfortunately, what we talked about in the previous video played out, and number two, much more important than that, unfortunately, in Near Protocol, with absolute authority, we ended up taking the lowest low in here about 98.5 cents, and this is going to have serious consequences for us. So are you ready to have some very much, I would argue, uncomfortable discussions? Well, guess what? Ready or not, here we go. If you remember, the last time that we talked about Near Protocol, if I just go on 30-minute time frame, we were somewhere around these areas, and the idea was that, okay, even if we want to say in Near we are looking bullish and we are not going to take the lows about 98 cents that I showed you earlier, one way or the other, even in that case, we are probably going to end up having at least bare minimum yet another move on the downside for two important reasons. Number one, we said even according to the most bullish case, this is going to be from here to about the lows and ABC zigzag, and it's very important to note that, excuse me, in a zigzag structure for the subwaves, we're gonna have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 into A, correction for B. Let's call it a WXY this time, followed by another 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 wave down into C. Now, if I just go on the live chart, okay, back in the previous video, we were writing here, and the main idea was this. We are only witnessing two sets of 5 waves on the downside. So on a higher degree, this is a 1, 2, 3, and we said, look, we don't really have our wave 4 and 5 yet. So makes sense to be very much pessimistic and argue probably, yep, another move down is coming. And also we said this specific phase on the upside doesn't really look like an impulse. If anything, this is like a clear-cut ABC zigzag, and I think it actually got confirmed in the previous video as well, since we were, I think, right in here, and we ended up taking this very important low of our B leg. So again, this was yet another very important reason to argue. Unfortunately, our move down is going to continue, and we said in the coming phase down, all eyes on that low about 98 cents, which with absolute authority we took it. Now, the question is, can we argue the final low right in here about, let's say, 85 cents is in? Unfortunately, I'm not really sure if I have good news for you. Why is that? You see, if you want to argue that we're going to have our final low in here, let's not even call it our final low. Let's just say generally some sort of a low, then okay, off of the lows you have to be able to find a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 wave on the upside. This specific scenario is called an impulse. Rules for it are, we should not have overlapping of the waves between our wave 2 and 4, and in any kind of 5 wave, this wave 3 in here should not be the smallest wave. It's a big no-no in Helios waves, and for our sub waves, you know it. We're gonna have 5 wave up into wave 1, 3, and 5. And for wave 2 and 4, we can consider so many different possibilities. Let's say ABC for wave 2, followed by a WXY structure into wave 4. And this is the exact problem that I'm having in your protocol chart in like very short time. Now, in order for us to have better looking candlesticks in here, because in Binance's chart, the one that we are right now on, the volume is not really that high. So let's go on trading views chart. There we go. Now the candles are looking much better, and I'm able to tell you, look, how exactly are you able to find from the lowest low about 85 cents region, where is it? Let's zoom in more, from here to about this point, which is the highest high, a 5 wave. I'm gonna be honest with you guys, there is like a very slight chance that you are able to argue this is a 5 wave, and this is how. Maybe this is 1, this is 2, and probably like a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 to about this point in wave 3, followed by like a teeny tiny small correction for 4, and then another move up into our wave 5. But as I'm sure that you are also seeing this, our wave 4 and 2, they don't really match each other in terms of the time that they took to complete themselves, and also size wise. So I'm going to argue, yep, you're absolutely correct. There is a chance that this is a 5 wave. However, the shape of it is actually looking so odd to a degree that is going to make me say, yeah, you know what? Maybe this is just a correction structure. And in terms of the shape of it, I think we can actually consider having 5 up to about this point into an A leg, followed by an A, B, C, running flat into wave B, and then another 1, 2, 3, 4. 5 wave up to about this point into our ceiling. Now, here's a very important point. This move on the upside being in form of a correction, I think sort of kind of in Near Protocol got confirmed the moment that in this face down, we ended up taking this very important low about 95 cents area, further confirming that unfortunately our move down is not over. Having said that though, I do think there's like a very much realistic chance actually that we are going to witness another move on the upside, but I'm telling you right here right now, if we end up having this phase on the upside, do not get overwhelmingly excited, okay? Odds are this is just going to be part of a correction structure, and on a higher degree, for example, it can be like a WXY in form of a double zigzag, and then we may end up having another move down in order to visit the lows once more about 85 cents area. Now, question, what if I'm wrong and this is actually a bit of a bullish setup, and this is, by the way, a 5 wave like the one that we talked about earlier? Okay, in that case, number one, naturally, we're not going to go down anymore and take the loss. Number two, the move up that we are going to get soon actually has to be like very strong and sharp. Why? Because according to the bullish case, this is going to be wave 1 on a higher degree, followed by a correction for wave 2, and the next move is going to be into wave 3 and 4 and 5. And you want to remember that wave 3 Helios wave boys, in most cases, definitely not all, there is no certainty in any market, but in most cases, wave 3 is known to be quite a strong and sharp move on the upside. So as long as I'm not seeing some very strong rebounds in here coming in Near Protocol, I'm going to be very careful in Near, because again, I do think our move down does have the potential to continue just a little bit more. How much are we talking about? Well, we really cannot say anything for sure, but I think Classic TA can actually be in these areas specifically a useful tool if you want to have a target for any kind of move down that we may see soon happen in Near. First things first, in terms of Classic TA, believe it or not, there's actually like a real support area. I think it was between 91 to about 94 cents, right around this area. There we go. And as you can see, also when we got this violent move on the downside in here, we got a bounce back from this level. This is also another time. So again, this support does have a bit of credibility, and on the other hand, we haven't really touched it way too many times in order for me to be a little bit worried about it. So what's the point in here? Well, as long as we're not breaking this level, maybe there is some hope, and we want to see, in order to be more bullish with more confidence, a very strong bounce back coming anytime soon. Now, point number two, God forbid, if we end up getting a break of this level, and by the way, this is from daily time frame, so if you want to say this is broken on daily time frame, you have to see a candle close under here, do a pullback, and then a continuation of the move down. And at that point, the target is going to be probably around the next important support, which is right around, excuse me, this area. I think it was somewhere between 71 to about 74 cents, 73 cents, right around here. There we go. In other words, break this level, the next target is going to be around 20% lower, which is really not ideal. I think we can all agree on that. But if you believe in the fundamentals of Near Protocol, I think this might be probably the best buy the dip opportunity that you could ever ask for. On the other hand, if you are looking for trading, well, one way or the other, I do not believe this is a trading opportunity. Why? Number one, downsides are limited since we are quite close to this important region, so this is definitely not a short opportunity. Number two, because we are having in here not necessarily a clear-cut 5 wave on the upside, you also cannot argue this is a long opportunity. And for example, this is 5 up, this is correction down, so definitely a move on the upside is coming. So again, as you can see, one way or the other, we don't really have any decent trading opportunity in here. And the only opportunity that I see around the current area is a buy the dip one for the mid to long term, and that requires you to believe in the fundamental of this project. Okay, and by the way, I actually forgot to tell you this. For the fundamentals, do not listen to me, do not listen to anybody on social media. Do your due diligence 100%, come up with your own conclusion, and then okay, If you thought, yeah, you know what, Near Protocol does have a bright future ahead and we are on the right direction fundamental wise, feel free to watch some YouTube videos in order to keep yourselves updated. And I hope I explained everything well and you understood what is going on in here. And until the next update, I hope you have a wonderful time. Goodbye.